Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas to the Brewers, to the Odoms, to the Daltons, and to the Prisnicks. Welcome to my shop space. I'm going to, right now, make some Christmas gifts for all of you, and I thought I'd make a video so you can kind of see how the process goes, so I can kind of show you around what I do. You know, I just started doing this in July of this year, so it's still a pretty exciting and new process to me, and I think it's pretty neat. And I thought maybe you'd all be interested as a little cherry on top of the Christmas gift. So, we're going to make some sweaters today that you have there in your box. And the first thing that needs to be done is the artwork. And you can thank Rebecca for that. She drew up some really cute drawings of all of you guys in the form of meerkats. And you can see some of her process here.
Hello, happy holidays, everyone. I hope that all of your preparations and all of your gifts are turning out as you wish, and that there is no stress, and that the weather is perfect, and that all of your New Year's resolutions are inspired if you do that sort of a thing. So I'm here to discuss the drawings that I've made for the art of sweatshirts. It is early for me here, and it's a little cold, and I'm just doing this when I can, so you know, that's where I'm coming from. So if my talking and stuff is not quite awake yet, just know that I like to draw cartoons. And in discussing a gift Stephen and I could send as a unit, something we came up with was I do drawings, he prints them, and he sends them. And that worked awesome for us because he could do that, and then I could do this on my own time whenever I get the time. So I wanted to show you all and share my drafts and things because it could be cool. First of all, we discussed creating everyone into animals because that's funner to look at, easier to draw, yada yada. In terms of animals, we discussed herds of things or whatever. We had discussed plenty of different types, like maybe schools of fish or like a flock of birds or something or other. And to have so much variation in the families seemed like a lot of work, so we settled on meerkats for everyone. Maybe another project could be everyone has different types of things, but it was pretty funny to try to think of what to do because there was one point when we were like, should we do like a herd of deer? And then it's like, probably not, because they hunt and that would be too funny, and also deer are hard to draw. So in settling on meerkats, I started with some pretty terrifying drafts, y'all. These are very scary. I'm feeling pretty vulnerable sharing these with you because they are very, very crazy. They're crazy looking guys. I had little hope, but you know what? I did those drafts and I was like, I'm just gonna try and see what happens. So that escalated to this. This is the Daltons. And with that draft, I was able to come to the conclusion of what I'm currently up in the morning trying to finish so I can send off the beginning stages of the Daltons here. Sarah's gonna have a cool little hat. She's gonna have some boots. You can kind of see them down there. Yes, cute. Daniel and Hannah, you guys, I didn't make a draft for you guys. It just like poured from the heart. Everyone's got their little things. Now in terms of items, I wasn't really set on giving everyone an item just because it seemed a little forced. So if something came naturally to my mind in relation to you, I suppose you could consider it as just like something that I see you with and something that I think about when I think of you. So if I tried to force an item on every person, it kind of just felt like I was trying to do that, trying to force it, and that didn't feel right. But there are some items. Let me find another draft really quickly. So here is the draft for you all. Odoms. The size wasn't quite it for me. As you can see, Rachel's very short. That is not true. Celeste and Naomi are a bit taller than that. So that's something I had to adjust in my final draft, which was here. I'm still debating giving Rachel little paw prints on the tummy from the inside, but I don't know how to do that, and I'm afraid that it's gonna look really weird. Okay. Okay. And then I have a draft, a very cute little draft of the Brewers. You guys, it was a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this was cute. Honestly, I liked this shape a lot of like everyone standing together, but it wasn't cutting it. No one has full body. And this doesn't even include everybody. This was just, like I said, just a draft. And so then I was like, think bigger. We gotta go big or go home, right? So, y'all, this is just what I got. This is what I came up with here. I tried my best to fit as many folks in there as I could. And there are some items in here. In light of Esther's most recent hunt, I thought it fitting to give a meerkat a bow and arrows. And Jeremiah has a sketchbook there. Tabby's got her glasses. So on. We've got a little ascot here for adventure and for outdoor study. I've seen some videos and pictures on the internet, on Facebook, of you gals participating in something that looked to me like Girl Scout type of a thing. I know it's not Girl Scout, but that's kind of why I did that. I hope that expresses what I'm hoping it to express, because I actually don't really know what it is, but it looks really cool. Congratulations, you guys. That looks awesome. So we got King Baby on the bottom as well. Anyways, that is what I came up with. I hope you feel like I hope you feel appropriately expressed, and I hope you really enjoy the love that I put into these drawings. I really spent time with each of you on here, and it honestly did feel like I was spending time with you all individually, and it was really, really awesome for me, especially not being able to come see you all for the holidays. So I hope you feel that as you look through these, and you know how much care I put into it, because I did put quite a bit of care. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and that you are surrounded by love and surrounded by kindness and surrounded by joy. And I hope to see you all as soon as I can. Okay, bye.
So me and her worked together to get those drawings in a way that I could manipulate them. And the next thing I had to do is, well, she sent me those pictures, and I had to digitize them and put them in a format that I could run through my Adobe Illustrator program and onto stencils, which you can see me doing here in this little process. Just a matter of taking her drawing and having Adobe Illustrator outline everything, and then I go in and I tweak and make fixes until I get to a point where I just have the black outlines on a transparent background. From that point, I am able to size everything and send it out to this special printer here, which will print out on really dark black ink on this transparent paper, which I use for stenciling. Once I've got everything stenciled out on this transparent paper, I'm ready for the next step. You'll see these drawings actually came out pretty good for coming from a physical drawing. You can see here are the Daltons. There's Lincoln, there's Hope, there's Sarah, there's little Beatrice, there's John Wayne, and there is Ellie. Here are the Odoms. You can see Dassa, that little mischievous look on her face. There's Rachel, there's the two little twins in there, Celeste, Naomi, Evie, Grant with his little curly hair, and there's David with his book, likely Animal Farm. Here are the Prisniks. You can see there's Daniel, there's Hannah, there is Ella, and there is Grace. Rebecca put these little details in here that I think are just so fun. Here are the Brewers. Big family here. This one had to, I had to stretch it out sideways because it was such a long photo. So it's gonna be a smaller graphic on the sweater, but we got everybody to fit in there. There's Jacob, there's Abigail, there's Shayna, there's Candace, there's Terry, there's Tabitha, there's little King Asher right there. Joshua with his little antlers, I think that's so cool. There's Seth, you can see, if you look closely, really closely, you can see a little mustache right there. There's Bailey and the little baby. And right here would be Chloe. That would be Keziah. There's Esther with her bow because she's gonna get a deer this next season. There's Jeremiah with his little sketchbook, and there is Levi with his headphones on. So now we're on to the next step. So once we've got the stencils, we have to take these over here in a semi-dark space because I use this, these screens and a photosensitive capillary film that I've stuck to them. So this orange stuff here is sensitive to a certain type of light. And that light is the light that this machine here emits. So once these stencils are stuck onto here, measured out perfectly to be the center exactly where I need to be. In fact, let me get that done and I'll show you the next step. Hey everybody, this is post-editing Steven here. As is natural for me to do, I forgot to voice over all of this stuff. So I'm going to go in and do it now. So I've put these stencils inside this machine that exposes them to this special light. And then everything underneath the black parts that I've printed out remains soft, while the surrounding area, that orange, all hardens up because of its reaction, this chemical reaction to that light. I think it's chemical? Shoot, I don't know. So here we go. We can just put some water on the black parts or on the whole thing, and that part softens up, and then you can just wash it out with this kind of low pressure cold water. And this is how you're able to get images stuck onto these screens. Now I'm using a capillary film. Most screen printers use an emulsion, which I'm going to switch to once I get my space all fixed up. You've probably seen in there, I'm remodeling the whole place. You've seen on B-Reel, doing painting and picking out floors and things like that. So once I get everything set up better, I'm going to switch to an emulsion. This is kind of a cheap and easy way to do it, but this is the only way I know how to do it right now. Here I am checking to make sure all of it got washed out. You know, every step of this process kind of compounds. So the better you do on this part of the process, the better time you'll have later. So there we go. That's how we get the stenciling done on this part of the process. Now it looks like I'm coming back into sound right now. Great. So I got all the screens are nice and dry. You can see they came out pretty good. These are the stencils. So now we get to prep the screens, which I've done 2 of them here. We're going to start with the Prisnik family because this will be the simplest one to do, and I want to work out the kinks on this one because that'll be a lot easier to do it here than it will be on like the Brewer one. So I've got my screens prepped here. That means I've taped all around all the edges. I put a cover over the one that I don't want to pass ink through. And now this, you can see, when I put ink on this and pull it through with the squeegee, it'll only pass through this stenciled bit, hopefully, and go on the sweaters. Speaking of the sweaters, here are the sweaters. These are the colors I picked out for everybody. This is for the Prisnik, this is Dalton, this is Odom, and this giant stack here is for the Brewers. Look at how cute these little tiny ones are. Look how small that sweater is. I don't know exactly how I'm going to print on this yet because we've got such a small space, and the size of the stencil is about 8.5 by 11. That's not going to fit on there. My option would be to shrink the graphic down and reprint it and then reburn it on a screen. Can't decide if I want to do that yet, but this size is going to fit on 90% of all the sweaters pretty well. Right, so I'm going to get the equipment turned on and we're going to start running a test print to make sure everything looks good. I've got 2 screens here of the same thing. You can see I've got the Prisniks there on both, and I'm going to show you why here in a moment. Let me get this set up and get a test print going. All right, got a first test print here. I'm not really liking the fidelity here on these lines. It looks a little bit blurry. I believe that's just because working out some gunk there in the screen. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it again until I get something really, really clean that I like, and then it's gonna go on the sweaters. All right, I got a good test print. I'm happy with it. Time to actually start on the sweaters themselves. Here we have, this should be Grace's sweater. Let me make sure I've got all the lint off of it. And we are ready to lay the white down. This is a flash dryer here. This helps dry it and heat things up. Makes for a better print. Got my ink ready. This is a plastisol ink, and what that means in practice is that it will not dry out. It is made with some plastics in it, which is not great for the fumes, but my dryer has got a ventilation system that goes out of the building. And I'll be able to work with this. You could leave it here overnight and it wouldn't dry out, which makes it really nice. So we're gonna put 2 coats of white on here. And I put an additive in here to help soften it up. That white really pops pretty nicely on that maroon. So there is 1 coat. Get that a little bit dry and we'll stick a second one on there. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. We're going to dry this, and now you'll see finally what this second screen here is for. I've got a little surprise on this one. Let me prepare this, and I will show you what's going on with this. So what I've done here is I've covered over everybody else on this stencil other than Grace. And I'm going to take a small squeegee here and I'm going to put some of this material on top of just her. Push some of that straight through the stencil. We're gonna dry it and then do it again. We want to get a nice thick coat of this stuff on just Grace there. Okay, I'm liking that. Now I'll show you what we've done here. What I've just applied is glow-in-the-dark ink. Yeah, so now she's glowing in the dark. I think that's pretty neat. That's why I needed 2 screens of everybody instead of just 1. And this is exactly how you would do a multicolor sweatshirt or shirt or whatever as well, just by applying a second screen and stenciling out where you want each color to go. In this case, I've got glow-in-the-dark ink. This is going to make things take a lot longer because I'm going to have to, you know, cover up everybody else who's not on this sweater and then only pass the glow-in-the-dark through them. But I thought this was a cool detail that I wanted to include. I think this glow-in-the-dark ink is kind of neat. So, all right, now we are ready for full production. Just gonna set up a time lapse and get to work. All right, I finished up all of the Prisnick and Dalton ones. They came out pretty good. This one here, I believe, is Lincoln's. Yeah, I can feel a little bit of height on that. And I think I've decided what I'm going to do with the babies here. Instead of burning doubles of the screens, that's just going to be too much work. I think what I'm going to do, because it's such a tiny space, is I'm just going to cover up the rest of the image and print just this spot on there. Yeah, and then I can use my exact same setup I have going on here, and the only image that will be here is just kind of cropped out on her little tiny itty bitty teeny weeny sweater. That's the plan. Here we go. Oh, this is the last one. This is Levi's right here. The final one. That took longer than I expected. And there it goes. We are finished up. Got all the sweaters here. This is Odom's, Dalton's, and Prisnick. This is all Brewer. So I was going through all of my sizing chart that I kind of sized everybody up while I was there and kind of guessed everybody's sizes. I hope I got some of them right, but I think now that I'm taking a look at all of them again, I think some of you guys are going to have some baggy sweaters. I guess that's better than them being too small. There we go. All dry. Why did the belt just stop? And just like that, they're all finished up. We've got all, shoot, how many of these are there? 30? I didn't even count them as I went along. But everything's all done. Everybody is individually outlined in glow in the dark on each one of these. This has been a really fun project for Rebecca and I to work on together for all of you, as a big Merry Christmas to everybody, and just to let you guys know how much we love everyone individually and how much we appreciate you all as our family. So I hope you stay warm and have fun together this Christmas. This is probably going to get to you a little bit late, but it'll get there nonetheless. All right, everybody, Merry Christmas once again, and we love you all. Bye-bye.